Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into Pippins Baseball pregame as we get set for a third game with the Bend Elks, the rubber match of this three-game series. The Pippins concluding their first series of the second half. My name's Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. I hope you all had a very safe and enjoyable 4th of July. Nobody blew any fingers off. Nobody blew anybody's houses down. And wherever you may be listening on either YouTube or Mixler, you find us a little bit more full after yesterday, most likely having some good food, a few drinks, and of course, baseball. Yakima Valley's 4th of July did not go the way they wanted it to go yesterday, losing 13-1 to these Bend Elks. Pippins only able to muster up 2 hits. They came in the first and the third inning, a double by Daichi Furuhata and a single by Nick Velasquez. The last 15 batters that Yakima Valley sent to the plate were all set down in order as Peronis, Jackson, and Hess for the Bend Elks combined for a half game worth of perfection. So you turn over to today, and some of the folks that played in game one for Bend are now back in the lineup as Alan Cox tries to find a way to win another series as they hunt for a third straight postseason berth. This was a team last year for Bend that made the postseason, ended up making it and hosting their first game since quite a while and going and beating the Corvallis Knights here at Vince Genna Stadium on a Friday night. And then they turned around, went to Corvallis, and lost the next two. And so they were knocked out of playoff contention after that. The Pippins, meanwhile, trying to make the playoffs for the first time since 2022, a team that has been without some positive in the postseason for quite a while. It's a bright, hot, sunny day here at 5:05 per first pitch at Vince Genna Stadium. It's going to be an interesting one because if experience tells me correct, the sun is going to be setting at just enough of an angle that it's going to be a pain in the butt to try to look down at the field from our position here at the broadcast booth on the first base side of the press box from about the fourth or fifth inning on. There's a picture I believe I have up on my Instagram account at Harmon Johnsen, all lowercase, Johnson spelled with an E, of the view that you get at Vince Genna Stadium when the sun is setting. It is certainly going to be kind of a difficult night for these players as the Pippins and the Elks try to do battle here in game number 3. Bend finally joining everybody else and is now playing in their second half of the season. Last night was their 27th game that they've played. They've had a couple of rainouts. And so tonight is game 28. The Elks joining most of the rest of the league in the second half of action. And so the clean slate is there for the Elks, who finished the first half 12-15, which was the same mark that Yakima Valley had in their first half. Whoever wins this game today will also be able to tie or take the season series depending on the result. Yakima Valley trying to earn their third win against the Elks and win the series. The Elks trying to win the season series and have a tiebreaker over Yakima Valley should that be necessary come the end of this year. So this game, much more important than you might think between two teams with a losing record so far in the West Coast League. But around the league, the South Division only has 3 teams above 500, 3 of their 8. Corvallis is 15-14, Walla Walla is 18-14, and Ridgefield is 20-9. Everybody else is 500 or below. Portland 13-13, Yakima Valley 13-16, Bend 12-15, Marion 12-19, and Springfield 9-20. The North has been the dominant division in terms of winning records, as they have 5 folks at or above 500. Wenatchee 21-8, Bellingham 20-12, Kelowna 18-11, Nanaimo 17 and 15, Edmonton 14 and 14. Victoria's 14 and 15 though. Kamloops is 12 and 17, and Port Angeles up there in the northwestern part of Washington is 6 and 22. And so it's kind of a tale of two different divisions. The North, very competitive between each other. The South is going to be a bloodbath because of these teams that are trying to make up ground, like Portland, who's missed 3 games due to rain. And the Berries, of course, started off the season so hot, 5-1. They're 12 and 19. And so they have definitely cooled off since, and they're in danger of losing a couple of their top players to the potential MLB draft that's coming up here in just a couple of weeks. And so as the the plate meeting continues to go on between Coach Crustangel, Coach Cox, and our two umpires, let's get into the starting lineups for both squads here at Vince Genna Stadium. First for the home team, the Bend Elks. Leading off will be the left fielder, number 14, Dimitri Sasidko. Playing second base and batting second will be number 29, Troy Sanders. Batting third is the designated hitter, number 17, Jordan Ortiz. Batting fourth is the first baseman, number 39, Cam Beck. Batting fifth is the right fielder, number 34, Will Cahill. Batting sixth is the third baseman, number 6, Brody Pettit. Batting seventh is the shortstop, number 4, Will Goodman. Batting eighth is the catcher, number 12, Hayden Smith. And batting ninth is the center fielder, number 2, Eli Pupo. So again, for Bend, who is 12 and 15 on the year, Dimitri Sasidko, Sanders, Ortiz, Beck, Cahill, Pettit, Goodman, Smith, and Pupo. Their head coach is Alan Cox. They'll have Dylan O'Neill on the mound in the top of the first inning. Here's the starting lineup for your Yakima Valley Pippins, as announced by Pippins head coach Kyle Crustangel. Leading it off and playing left field will be number 3, Tyson Miller. Batting second and playing third base today is number 26, Daichi Furuhata. Batting third is the second baseman, number 17, Nick Velasquez. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 25, Parker Burt. Batting fifth, the center fielder, number 7, Jay O'Neill. Batting sixth is the right fielder, number 15, Luis Garcia. Batting seventh is the first baseman, number 13, Levi Sotomayor. Batting eighth is the catcher, number 51, Jackson Upton. And batting ninth is the shortstop, number 16, Derek Almeida. So again, for the Pippins, Miller, Furuhata, Velasquez, Burt, O'Neill, Garcia, Sotomayor, Upton, and Almeida. Kyle Crustangel, the head coach, and Luke McGuire will be the pitcher for the Pips in the bottom of the first inning. So for the Pippins, they send out the same starting lineup that they have had for the last couple of days. The only difference is Jackson Upton is the catcher in the 8-hole tonight instead of Abel Ramos. And so the third new catcher used in this series for Yakima Valley. They technically have 4 on the active roster, but Kaipo Matsushima did not make the trip down to Bend, and so Upton is the third and final catcher that has not so far seen action behind the dish to this series. He did pitch last night, going 2/3 of an inning, giving up 2 hits but no runs and walking 1. So it'll be interesting to see how the Pippins line up, the same lineup essentially that only got 2 hits last night, responds against this pitcher, Dylan O'Neill, who has a higher walk number than strikeout number, 7-3. So last night you saw McDougal come into that game with actually he finished the game with 6 walks and no strikeouts. So we'll have to see what happens as the Pips try to get back to their hitting ways after only getting 2 hits last night. Coach Crustangel is still having a conversation with Clayton Kellogg and Jacob Fisher, the umpires today. Alan Cox has departed, has been away for the last couple of minutes as the Bend Elks announce their starting lineups tonight. The rest of the West Coast League today looks like this. Some games already in. Kelowna beating Victoria today in Kelowna 9-2. Nanaimo takes down Bellingham 6-2. And Port Angeles beat Kamloops up in PA 9-2. So PA now with 7 wins on the season. Some 505 games about to start. Of course, this one, you've got Corvallis hosting Springfield and Marion hosting Portland. And then a 5:35 p.m. Pacific time game, Wenatchee hosting Edmonton, and a 6 o'clock game out in Walla Walla as the Sweets host the Richfield Raptors. So some games in, some games yet to start. This one about ready to get going here at Vince Genna Stadium. A much lighter crowd than the last couple of days. July 3rd for their fireworks night, the Elks drew 2,863. Last night it was another decently full ballpark, 1,570 were in the stands. So we'll have to see what the official attendance number is today. It's Bark in the Park. There's a few dogs off to my right, but overall it's a definitely lighter crowd than the last couple of days. We're going to take a quick break for the national anthem. We'll be right back after the Star Spangled Banner. Pippins and Elks getting ready for game 3 and game 3 of the second half for Yakima Valley. Watching TV. Pippins baseball is about ready to begin here at Vince Genna Stadium. Yakima Valley sending up Tyson Miller, Daichi Furuhata, and Nick Velasquez to get this game going against the starting pitcher for the Bend Elks. His name is Dylan O'Neill. O'Neill wearing number 7 for the Elks, a junior from Washington State University, San Marcos, California. On the season, 0-2 with 3 games played, including 2 starts. He has pitched in 8 innings. He has struck out 3. He has walked 7. He has given up 10 hits and 7 earned runs for a 7.88 ERA. The defense behind him is Sisitko in left, Pupo in center, Cahill in right, Pettit at third, Goodman at short, Sanders at second, and back over at first. Doing the catching today is Hayden Smith for Dylan O'Neill, making his 3rd start of this 2026 season. Pippins wearing their blue tops today with white Pippins and block across the chest, the stick with the apple hanging down on the left chest, and white numerals on the back. They're going to wear gray pants and blue caps when they are in the field. For the Elks, they're wearing gold tops with the word Bend on the front in black, a number over on the left chest, white pants, and a two-tone cap with a white front and a brown back. Ready to play ball as Dylan O'Neill's first pitch misses high and away at 5:07 p.m. here in Bend, Oregon. A man that works purely out of the stretch. He comes set at the belt, takes a deep breath, and sends home the 0-1 that Tyson flies over to center field. Pupo, who had 2 spectacular catches today, makes a routine play after 2 pitches. There's 1 away. Weather conditions here in Bend, Oregon at Vince Genna Stadium. It is definitely warm today, 88 degrees. touched 90 during batting practice. The skies are clear, though, and the wind is blowing in from center field ever so slightly at around 10 miles an hour. First pitch to Daichi Furuhata from O'Neill. Misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Daichi playing third base today. On the season, batting .330 as he takes one high for ball two. Bounces off the bricks and returns back to the hill. Daichi playing in his 29th game of this 2026 season. Was one of two Pippins with a hit last night. Had a double in the first inning. 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball downstairs. Count runs to 3-0. 7 walks on the season for O'Neill, only 3 strikeouts. Tyson might have been swinging early. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Daichi shows bunt. It's a fastball on the outer black. 3 balls and a strike. Nick Velasquez is the man waiting on deck. Haven't seen him get too hot in this series, although the potential is there. O'Neill brings the 3-1 pitch. It is right on the outer black for strike 2, a fastball. So the count's going to run full. Daichi making this man work just a little bit. Coming off of his second season at SWAC. The payoff pitch. Daichi pounds into the ground over to third. Pettit waits for it to come to him. Strong throw across. And there is out number 2. So with 2 away, Nick Velasquez will hit. The Pippins had their last batter of the 4th inning, Tyson Miller, retired on a groundout. And so make it now 18 straight Pippins that have been set down by Elks pitching. O'Neill leaning in a la Craig Kimbrell with his arm dangling. Now he comes set at the belt. First pitch to Velasquez is a wave and a miss at a changeup. 0-1. Nick so far this season batting .321 through his 28 games with Yakima Valley, which includes a non-league appearance. 0-1, another changeup. This one's down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nick's been an extra base hit machine. 8 doubles, 1 triple, and 6 home runs. Wind picks up from the north. The 1-1 pitch is a fastball just above the letters. 2-1 to Velasquez. Nick, of course, some exciting news yesterday, committing to play at USC. That's a big move for the man from Citrus College. 2-1, breaking ball this time. It's inside. 3 balls and a strike. So back-to-back 3-ball counts here by O'Neill. So far, he's got 2 outs on the board. Brings his glove to his belt, takes a deep breath. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Nick. It is inside ball 4. Velasquez will draw the free pass, and the Pippins have their first base runner. First base runner since the 4th inning of yesterday's game, might I add. Parker Burt digs into the right-hand batter's box. Burt batting .369, came into this weekend atop the West Coast League in batting average at .403. Now .369. He is in 4th place as the first pitch breaking ball's in the left-hand batter's box, but smothered by Smith. 1 ball and no strikes. Parker was at Regis University last year at D2 and just announced yesterday that he will be heading to Ball State at D1. So congratulations to Parker. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss at a high fastball. Parker's top hand came off the bat. The only reason it didn't go flying was because he kept the bottom hand on. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Parker's been in a little bit of a mini funk. Both games against Bend, he is 0 for 8. Fastball outer black. This one called a baldo by our home plate umpire, Clayton Kellogg. So it's 2-1. Kellogg had the dish on Friday night. His partner, Jacob Fisher, in the field. Standing in the B position, the 2-1 rides inside, and that hit Parker Burt. Breaking ball slipped out of the hand of O'Neill. Pippins have 2 aboard and 2 outs here in the first inning for Jay O'Neill. Looks like Parker got hit right in the elbow guard. He wears that protection on his left elbow. So here's Jay. Just recently committed to UNLV. The first pitch catches the outer black, a changeup for strike 1. O'Neill on the season for Yakima Valley, batting .253. He too is in a mini funk against the Elks. Only 1-4-7. This is after a 3-for-6 day against Northwest Star back on the 1st of July. 0-1, foul ball at the plate. Jay got it right off the cap of the bat. So the count quickly 0-2. Prior to that, though, O'Neill had no hits in the Kelowna series. 12 at-bats. He was over 12 before the non-league break. 0-2 pitch to O'Neill, a breaking ball over on the left side, backhand by Goodman. He's going to make the long throw to first, and he will have Jay by a couple of steps. The Pips get no runs on no hits, no errors by the Elks, and they leave 2 men on base after a half inning of play here at Vince Genna Stadium. It's Pippins 0, Elks coming up. We'll be right back to Bend, Oregon.
Okay. And throw the seeds. Your switch place in your hands, start back ball after the seeds gotta get it wrong. You gotta go away. That's very much what I do. Look at us, what I want. Oh. Shoot the ball 3 times in the ball or good round curve. Work around here. Since you kind of shoot the get on. Rather fight more than outside street can use like I want to do that now. What if you say something pretty awesome?
Bottom of the first inning here at Vince Genna Stadium. Yakima Valley will send out Luke McGuire to be the starting pitcher today. Man from Spokane Falls Community College. 2-2 on the season with Yakima Valley. 5 games, all starts, 26 1/3 innings, 21 strikeouts to 14 walks, 29 hits, and only 11 earned runs given up for Luke. A 3.76 ERA. His last 2 starts combined, he's given up 5 runs, only 4 of them earned. That was after a scoreless outing, so I should say over his last 3 starts. Up in Edmonton, he went 7 2/3, giving up 7 hits but no runs and striking out 8. His last 2 starts, Marion, he went 4. Against Kelowna, he went 6 and ended up with the win. He'll face Dimitri Sizitko, Troy Sanders, and Jordan Ortiz first as the lefty winds and fires his first pitch foul over towards the Yakima Valley dugout on the third base side. Defense behind McGuire, Miller in left, O'Neill in center, Garcia in right. Furahada, Almeida, Velasquez, Sotomayor on the infield from third to first, and Upton doing the catching for Luke McGuire. Out of the full windup, the Southpaw sends it home the 0-1. It's a breaking ball that misses down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dimitri Sisidko, the leadoff man today from Coppin State. 406 batting average, playing in his 20th game for the Elks. A fastball high and tight, 2 balls and 1 strike. 406 batting average, 486 on base percentage, 500 slugging. That includes a couple of non-league games for him. 2-1. Here's a ground ball out towards short. Almeida up with it on 2 hops. The throw to Levi is in time. 1 up and 1 down for Luke McGuire. I'll bring up Troy Sanders. Sanders the other night, Friday night, when he last played, was batting in the 8 hole. He went 0 for 5 with a run scored. Today, moving up to the 2 hole, playing second base. It certainly has pop potential to double, to triple, and 4 home runs in his 13 hits, as the first pitch from Luke is an inside changeup for ball 1. Strikes out about a quarter of the time, playing in his 15th game for the Bend Elks. 1-0. There's a changeup over the heart of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sanders was taking all the way. This is pretty early to bring this talking point up, but with the amount of guys that are in the dugout for the Elks. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball. Missed outside. 2 balls and a strike. With the amount of people in the dugout for the Elks, it must be hard to earn consistent playing time. You look at the turnover from the rosters as the 2-1 pitch is rope foul over towards the Bend Fieldhouse on the left side, 2-2. You look at the roster turnover, I can't count anybody that has played in all 3 games of this series so far. None of them. 2-2 pitch. Inside. It's a full count now. Breaking ball from Luke that skipped in just a touch. That's got to be either a really nice thing as a manager that you've got so many guys, or kind of a pain as a player. Payoff pitch, sawed off foul over towards the Pippins dugout. I just can't imagine, like Yakima Valley. Of course, they're on a travel roster. They've got limited numbers, but you think of the starting lineup, it's the exact same minus you swap Ramos and Upton today. Payoff pitch. Pop up over on the third base side. Daichi drifting into foul territory on the warning track, runs out of room as it 1 hops up against the field house out of play. It is the exact same lineup for Yakima Valley. And in fact, the only change at all during this entire series has been the 8 hole. Emery Henderson was in the 8 hole on Friday night. Abel Ramos occupied the 8 spot last night. Jackson Upton in the 8 spot tonight. Another payoff pitch from McGuire. Breaking ball sent straight back and over top of the press box. So we'll do another full count pitch. Troy Sanders making Luke McGuire work very hard for this second out. Here comes the payoff. Another foul ball. This one's on top of the field house over on the left side. Losing baseballs left, right, and center. Appropriately, the BGs resound through the ballpark here. McGuire from the full windup, the 3-2 pitch. That is a called strike 3, dotted on the outer black. Changeup got Troy Sanders looking. There's 2 away. Good pitch from Luke McGuire, and he wins the long battle. How many pitches did this one last? 11 by my count, with 4 straight foul balls before the strikeout. Here's Jordan Ortiz. Ortiz from LMU, Loyola Marymount. First pitch breaking ball upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. The man from San Jose, California, batting .350 in 8 games with the Elks. 7 hits in 20 at-bats. 1-0. Here's a shallow pop out towards shortstop. Almeida drifting into the grass. He makes the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning by Luke McGuire. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. An inning in the books. No score between the Pippins and the Elks. We'll be right back to Vince Genna Stadium here in Bend, Oregon. Top of the second inning here at Vince Genna Stadium in Bend, Oregon. So glad you're with us, whether you're listening on YouTube or Mixler. My name's Harmon Johnsen. I'm your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins, and the Pippins are in a 0-0 tie after one inning of play. 5 men came to the plate for Yakima Valley in the first frame, and so we lead off with the 6-hole hitter. His name is Luis Garcia, the right fielder from Western Oklahoma State. Garcia on the season, batting .256 for Yakima Valley. This is the same exact lineup, minus Jackson Upton yesterday, that had 2 hits. Both of them were in the first 2 innings as Garcia swings freely and sends the first pitch foul into the road and into somebody's front yard. The ballpark, Vince Genna Stadium, located on the corner of Roosevelt and 5th here in Bend, Oregon, nestled right in a residential neighborhood. 0-1, here's a breaking ball, outer black. 0-2. So Garcia falls behind quickly. I wonder, for one of these houses over on the first base side, first the 0-2 pitch, Garcia on the ground deep in the hole at third. It's the shortstop, Goodman, who makes the throw, but it is late. Deep in the 5-6 hole, Goodman put as much mustard on it as he could, but Luis Garcia legs it out for an infield single. The Pippins have the leadoff man aboard here in the second. That'll bring up Levi Sotomayor. University of the Pacific for Levi from Reno, Nevada, batting .415 in 11 games for the Pips. I wonder how many baseballs the folks over on the first base side, as the first pitch misses high and away, end up with after just a homestand for the Elks. Just by a rough estimate last night, I am going to assume there were around 20 baseballs that went foul over on the first base side. 1-0 pitch. Levi golfs it into center field. Pupo started back. Now he charges in. Still charging. He makes the catch. Nearly misread that ball. Pupo, who had 2 web gems last night in left field. But he gets to it. That's out number 1 here in the second. Brings up Jackson Upton. Upton tying his shoe before he digs into the right-hand batter's box. And they're spread out between the 3 or 4 houses that are located right next to the ballpark. But I would think that over the course of a season, maybe even half a season, you end up with at least a bucket's worth of West Coast League balls. Take a look on Google Maps if you're around a device. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. First pitch, Upton fouls this one over on that first base side and onto the road. A passing car about to get hit. Oh, it skips right by it. Someone had the window open. Looked like they were trying to catch it as that ball bounced by. Count 0-1. The pitch upstairs gets through the glove of Smith and all the way to the backstop. Luis Garcia will stand at second base. That was close. Maybe going to be a passed ball here. We've seen a lot of wild pitches, and at this ballpark, you don't want anything to go hard to the backstop because it's made of brick. It is officially a passed ball. Garcia advancing to second. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Breaking ball. Upton didn't offer, but it's called strike 2 as it drops in anyway. So the count 1-2. Man in scoring position with 1 out. Pippin's trying to strike first. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball down and away. Count evens up 2 apiece. Last night, Yakima Valley really didn't give themselves any sort of chance. 1 run scored in the 4th inning, that was it. That was after they gave up 3 runs and then gave up another 2 in the bottom of the 4th. 2-2, a bouncing ball out towards short. Goodman gonna catch it on 2 hops. The throw across is low, but manageable for Beck. 2 away on a 6-3 ground out, moving up to third, Luis Garcia. That'll bring up Derek Almeida. Almeida from Citrus College, batting .311 for the Pips. He's got Garcia in scoring position, 90 feet away. First pitch, a breaking ball drops in right at the top of the zone, 0-1. Almeida with 23 hits, including 2 of them in this series. Both of them came on Friday night, the Pippins 6-5 win. 0-1, Almeida wave and a miss at a downstairs breaking ball, quickly behind 0-2. O'Neill with 1 walk so far tonight, no strikeouts yet. He's only got 3 of them on the season. Coming set at the belt, O'Neill. Flexing the glove, takes a deep breath. The 0-2 pitch, gets upstairs, gets through the glove of Smith. Coming home to try to score is Garcia. He takes out the pitcher in the process, and he is safe. 1-0 Yakima Valley. The throw was high to O'Neill from Smith, and the Pippins have the lead. That might be another passed ball as the pitch was upstairs. We'll see how upstairs it was. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Almeida. Pippins in front, 1-0. The 1-2 pitch, Almeida got a piece of it to send it to the backstop. So O'Neill will try to regather himself after getting taken out by the Pippins right fielder. Still in a 1-2 count, the pitch. Breaking ball outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still waiting for the official announcement on the play that scored Garcia. Here comes a 2-2 pitch plate word. Almeida pounds it hard in the ground at third, petted on a backhand, sets his feet, throws across the diamond, and in time to get Derek Almeida. Yakima Valley scores 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors, and there were no runners left on base. The Pippins lead it 1-0 after an inning and a half here at Vince Genna Stadium. Come right back for the bottom of the second. Welcome to the bottom of the second inning here at Vince Genna Stadium. Harmon Johnsen with you. The Pippins lead it 1-0 as Luis Garcia scored on a wild pitch. He led off the inning with a single, made it to second on a pass ball, to third on a ground out. And then a wild pitch brought him to the plate. So Luke McGuire out there with a cushion as the first pitch. Cam Beck sends out to high center field. O'Neill drifting over. He converges with Miller. O'Neill makes the catch. One pitch, one out here in the second inning for McGuire. That'll bring up Will Cahill. Cahill in the transfer portal from the University of Washington. On the season for the Elks, 4 hits and 22 at-bats. McGuire's first pitch, called strike, a breaking ball right over the heart of the plate. Cahill has scored once, driven in 3. 182 batting average as the 0-1 pitch misses upstairs. A fastball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Cahill and Pettit, the next 2 scheduled hitters for the Bend Elks against Luke McGuire as a breaking ball slips out of his hand and moves the count to 2-1. Let's see if Luke can dial back into the outing he had up in Edmonton. 2-1. That's a strike right at the letters. 2-2. Luke gave up his fair share of hits, but did not allow anybody to come home to score. 2-2 pitch. Here's a ground ball over towards first. A dive attempt by Levi. It sneaks through into right field for a base hit. Sotomayor didn't quite get to the ground in time to stop that one from getting through. Would have been a tough play either way, but that's the first hit of the game for the Bend Elks. So now here's Brady Pettit. Pettit from St. Mary's College. He played on Friday night, went 0 for 5. First pitch, McGuire gets ahead with a fastball dotted on the outer black 0-1. Pettit in 2 games batting 111. He's 1 for 9. The 0-1, a line drive out to right field, going to drop in front of Garcia. Back-to-back hits for the Bend Elks. They have 2 aboard and 1 out here in the second. Well, and like I was saying before the back-to-back hits, McGuire gave up 7 in that 7 2/3 innings outing up in Edmonton. But the impressive part about that appearance was no runs came across to score. So we'll have to see how Luke manages it here with 2 on and only 1 out. First pitch, changeup, high and away, ball 1. This is Will Goodman, the shortstop. Goodman from Pepperdine, a native of this very city, Bend, Oregon. 1-0, breaking ball drops in, 1 ball and 1 strike. Goodman on this season for the Elks, batting .226, playing in his 20th game for his hometown squad. Wire looks back to second. Runners take off. Here's a pitch outside. Upton's going to throw down, try to get the trail runner. They've got him dead to rights. Brady Pettit gunned down by about 2 steps. So Will Cahill stills third, but Pettit is out. A good throw from Upton, and there's 2 away. Almeida was the one who caught it, so it's a caught stealing 2-6. Goodman in a 2-1 count at the plate. Shot through the right side. No, it's caught by Sotomayor. That ball had some deceptive speed off the bat. Levi didn't have to move. It's a line out to the first baseman. And McGuire gets out of the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and only 1 man left on base. We go to the third inning. Pippins lead at 1-0 here in Bend.
Don't get it crazy on it, all right? Whatever. You make me and we're going to the all right? All right, you have it. It's all Well, boy, we're getting protection. Well, I get it ready. It's an extra party. It's a
Welcome back to Bend, Oregon. The Pippins lead at 1-0. We're in the top of the third inning. Tyson Miller, Daichi Furuhata, and Nick Velasquez due up for the Pips. Top of the order, leading by one, trying to extend Game 3, the rubber match between these two squads. Yakima Valley won Game 1 6-5. Bend won Game 2 last night on the 4th of July 13-1. Dylan O'Neill out for his third inning of work. His first pitch to Tyson skips in front of the plate. Count moves to 1-0. Miller from Cal State Bakersfield on the season for the Pippins, batting .329. Flew out to center field back in his first plate appearance as he takes a pitch downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes on an 86-mile-an-hour fastball. This game started at 5:05. Pippin's hopefully going to get home around midnight tonight. 2-0 pitch, a fastball high and tight. Count moves to 3-0. It's about a 4-hour trip from here in Bend to get back to Yakima County Stadium. 3-0 pitch. Tyson taking all the way. He takes ball 4. There's another fastball that misses from Dylan O'Neill. Leadoff man's aboard for the second straight inning for the Pippins. To bring up Daichi Furuhata. Daichi grounded out to third base back in the first inning. This season for the Pippins, 2 home runs to go along with 22 RBI. Daichi takes a breaking ball high and in, 1 ball and no strikes. And so that 4-hour travel time, if this game lasts about 3 hours, that's 8 o'clock. Got to figure about 15 to 20 minutes to get out of the ballpark, stop for dinner, and 1-0 pitch, chopped back out towards shortstop. Goodman steps on the second base bag himself, sends it on to first. It's a double play for the Bend infield. Tyson out 6 unassisted, Daichi out 6-3, and there's 2 away here in the third inning. Nick Velasquez walked back in the first inning, trying to extend this third inning here. So you got to figure maybe out of town by 8:45, 9 o'clock at the latest, unless this game goes long. Wave and a miss at a changeup down below the zone. It's no balls and a strike. So hopefully midnight, 1 o'clock area is when the Pippins can roll back into Yakima and enjoy their off day tomorrow. This is 13 straight games for Yakima Valley as the 0-1 pitch spikes in about 55 feet. 1 ball and 1 strike. 13 of 13 for the Pips. All started last Tuesday against the Wenatchee Apple Sox. Had 3 with them, 3 with the Kelowna Falcons. 1-1. Another one bounces in, 2 balls and a strike. And then a single game in the non-league on Monday against the Dub Sea Fish Sticks. A Tuesday-Wednesday series with the Northwest Star Nighthawks. A Thursday game against the Portland Gherkins. And then this 3-game series down here in Bend. 2-1, inside, fastball to Nick Velasquez, 3 balls and a strike. Pippins have an off day tomorrow before welcoming the Ridgefield Raptors to town for a 3-game set. Then they hit the road over next weekend to be in Walla Walla for the first of 2 times in the second half. 3-1. Nick ropes it hard down the right field line, but well foul. One hopped up against the wall. 107 off the bat. I'm hearing from the opposite side of the press box. Aiden O'Neill, the Ben broadcaster. I don't have the TrackMan in front of me, but just by looking at how Nick swung on that, it was a hard hit ball. Let's see if Nick can straighten it out. The count's full, 3-2 with 2 outs, nobody on. Pitch from O'Neill. Velasquez grounds it foul past first base. So the Pippins, 3 against Ridgefield, 3 in Walla Walla, and then another somewhat extended break as the All-Star game is on July 15th. Pippins will host the Cascade Collegiate League Showcase team on the 16th. Welcome to Portland Pickles over that weekend. Another payoff. Nick hard on the ground out towards short. Goodman might get all 3 outs in this inning. He gets a nice stretch over at first by Beck. And after walking the leadoff man, Dylan O'Neill faces only 3 batters. No runs on no hits, no errors, and none left on. 2.5 in the books. We go to the bottom of the third. 1-0 Pippins.
Let's hear it for all. Here and there. Could it be good breath? We going on. Go to be working. You're gonna put this. If you're looking for you got plenty going ten. It's like you and that. Now to the grab your all shots. Thank you again, yeah. So you want to know. This is a real big way to. It's great.
Luke McGuire finishes his warm-up tosses here in the bottom of the third inning as he gets ready to face 8, 9, and 1 in the Bend Elks order. Hayden Smith, Eli Pupo, and Dimitri Sitko. Luke gave up his first 2 hits of the game in the second inning, but got a caught stealing and a line drive to strand a man at third in that second inning. So now here's Hayden Smith. Hayden Smith, Glendale Community College, but moving on to Utah. Takes a first pitch upstairs, ball 1. Native of St. George, Utah, heading back a little bit closer to home. 1-0, that pitch upstairs as well. It was a fastball from Luke at 84. 2 balls and no strikes. Smith had 2 at-bats in Friday night's game before getting pinch hit for. 2-0, hard grounder over towards the Pips dugout. It bounces back into fair territory out in left field. So the count 2-1. McGuire, the lefty, sends it into the righty Smith, a breaking ball that could not drop below the letters. The count moves to 3-1. Last night, the walks became a little bit of an issue for Pippins pitching after a very clean game on Friday. 3-1. Here's a high line drive out towards left. Miller getting back to about 2 steps in front of the track, and then he makes the catch. 1 away here in the third. Stepping up is Eli Pupo. Pupo from Bushnell, native of Redmond, Oregon, which is about 25 minutes north of where we sit right now. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch breaking ball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Daichi plays in on the grass over at third. It's an infield shift to the pull side for the left-handed stick of Pupo. 1-0. Here's a foul tip. And out of the glove of Upton, 1-1. Pupo on the season for the Elks, .235 batting average. Playing in his 19th game, the 1-1 pitch, shot out of play foul over on the left side, heads up in the picnic deck. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The netting here not the tallest in the world. And at one point in its life, it obviously was chain link because of the spacing for the support poles. 1-2 pitch from McGuire. Breaking ball misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But it is now mesh. 2-2 pitch. A line drive over the head of Almeida on the left side, down for a hit into left field. Eli Pupo, the third hit for Bend. He's on with 1 out. Brings up the top of the order for the Elks, Dmitry Sasidko. Sasidko led off this game by grounding out to Almeida. Double play in order here for Luke McGuire. Pippins have turned 24 twin killings on the summer. Looking for another one here. First pitch misses downstairs, a fastball from Luke. 1-0. Sasidko, a hard man to get out in his 20 games, batting just around 400. And as that pitch gets away from Upton, it was a inside pitch that bounced away. It's 2-0, and moving up to second in the process is Eli Pupo. That was an odd play because it looked like it came off the hands of Sasidko. Second passed ball of the night, one for each catcher. Man in scoring position with only 1 out. McGuire sends home the 2-0 pitch, catching the outer black with a fastball. It's 2-1. Luke was able to do a job in the second inning. After giving up 2 hits, he did not allow a run. Trying to do the same thing here in the third. Pippins 1 run on 1 hit. Elks so far no runs on 3 hits. 2-1 pitch, just a bit high and away to Sasidko. It's 3-1. The right-handed bat steps out, adjusts the gloves, now digs in, wearing that gold top with white pants and a brown stripe down the side. Black numerals outlined in gold as well. Pippins in their baby blues, caps and tops, gray pants. 3-1 pitch from McGuire, a breaking ball hard of the plate. It's now 3-2. McGuire tonight, 1 strikeout. Second one here would be big. Coming set at the letters. Luke takes a look to second. Here's the payoff pitch. It's a breaking ball sent out to play foul over right on top of a car that was driving by. The windshield wipers go off. They pull over and pick up the baseball. That one might have got the windshield. Square on the hood at least. Payoff pitch. Runner takes off for third. Here's a ground ball over to third, but the ball is foul. And so with the foul ball, that means that Pupo will have to return back to second. He had the base stolen. Daichi wouldn't have had a play even with the ball going right over the bag, but in foul territory. Full count upcoming here from McGuire. To Sasidko, the pitch roped well foul right into the Pippins dugout. Parker Burt was sitting right on the top step, and he ended up with the baseball. Count remains full. You've got Troy Sanders waiting on deck. McGuire staring back at the second base bag. The payoff pitch is an inside out line drive caught by Velasquez, and he's going to step on the bag and turn the double play. Halfway to third was Eli Pupo, a base running blunder by the Bend Elks, and we're through 3 with the Pippins up 1-0 here at Vince Genna Stadium. This is Pippins baseball.
Oh.
Middle innings are upon us here at Vince Genna Stadium in Bend, Oregon. Glad you're with us. My name's Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 due up for Yakima Valley. Parker Burt, Jay O'Neill, Luis Garcia. Pippins lead it 1-0 as the T-shirt cannon exits the field of play. Home plate umpire Clayton Kellogg holding this game up until they depart. Parker reaches for the sky and now digs into the right-hand batter's box. Dylan O'Neill out on the hill for his 4th inning of work. To this point, giving up 1 run. It was earned on 1 hit. The same guy that scored the run, Luis Garcia. Parker, first pitch he sees is a hard ground ball out to Goodman. He boots it as it bounces away. Parker's going to leg this one out. Goodman got the double play by himself in the 3rd and ended the inning with a 6-3 throw across the diamond. That's the first error of the game for the Bend Elks. Comes against Goodman, and the Pippins have the leadoff man aboard for the 3rd straight inning.
No.
Jay O'Neill grounded out to Goodman back in the 1st inning. So it's O'Neill versus O'Neill. First pitch, Jay takes right at the bottom corner on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. Ironically, both O'Neills wear number 7. Jay, the hitter, standing in the left-hand batter's box. Dylan, the pitcher, standing square in the middle of the rubber. 0-1 from the belt, a breaking ball high. This gets away from Smith. Moving up to second is Parker Burt. That was a wild curveball that slipped out of the hand of O'Neill. They're going to give it a passed ball. Smith charged with his 2nd one behind the dish today. It's now man in scoring position for Yakima Valley. This pitch skips in, but it bounces around at Jay's feet. 2 balls and a strike. Parker does have more stereotypical catcher's speed, but in second base, anything to the outfield should score him and give the Pippins some insurance. Leading 1-0 right now. 2-1, a pitch high, a fastball from O'Neill, and the count moves to 3-1. We've got Luis Garcia waiting on deck, the only Pippin with a hit so far tonight. Yakima Valley leading it by a run. O'Neill looks back to second, and Jay pops one right up on the infield over towards Goodman at short. Drifting around and settling under it, Goodman makes the catch. A lot of action out to the shortstops in the last 2 innings. There's one away here in the 4th. So here's Luis Garcia. Singled in the 2nd to lead off the inning, reached second on a pass ball, advanced to 3rd on a ground out, and then scored on a wild pitch. First offering from Dylan O'Neill, misses outside, a breaking ball, 1-0. Luis has some pop in that bat, but I'm sure he'd be glad to take as many of the singles like he got in the 2nd inning as he can get. 0-1, wave and a miss. Scratch that, that was 1-0. And so now 1-1. Luis couldn't catch up with a changeup, a little bit of a change of pace. Dylan O'Neill firing in the 1-1 pitch. This is a fastball up above the letters. 2 balls and 1 strike. Garcia playing right field today. He spent a little bit of time in left field, but right field has been his primary position. 2-1, a breaking ball skips away from the catcher Smith. Parker took off, but he'll return to second wisely as Smith was able to knock it down enough to keep it in front of the plate. It is a 3-1 count now to Luis Garcia. Jay O'Neill had a 3-1 count, and he popped up to the shortstop. Let's see what Luis does here on 3-1. Taking an inside changeup. This is ball 4. An error, a pop out, and a walk now. Pippins have him at 1st and 2nd with only 1 out. That'll bring up Levi Sotomayor. Luis's equipment still sitting over in the on-deck circle. As now we're going to get a visit on the mound by the Bend Elks. Gives us a chance to take a look at the scores from around the West Coast League today. Only a couple games in action currently, as there were 3 games that started before ours. 3 games in action right now. Bottom of the 3rd inning in Corvallis. The Knights lead at 4-1 over the Springfield Drifters. Bottom of the 3rd inning in Marion, or I should say in Salem, the Marion Berries are in a tie with the Portland Pickles, 0-0. There's your fix for the World Cup. That Mexico-England match about to start, I believe, as well. It was delayed because of weather. Top of the 2nd inning in Wenatchee, no score between the Riverhawks and the Apple Sox. And then about 5 minutes from now, the Walla Walla Sweets and the Richfield Raptors will begin play. 3 finals already. Kelowna beat Victoria 9-3. Nanaimo beat Bellingham 6-2. Port Angeles beat Kamloops 9-2. And after the mound visit, coming set too early is O'Neill, as he is warned by Clayton Kellogg not to do that again. First pitch to Sotomayor, a fastball right on the outer black. No balls and 1 strike. Levi flew out to center field back in the 2nd inning. Decent hole in the right center field gap for Sotomayor, a left-handed bat. A look back to second. O'Neill brings home the 0-1. Levi waves and misses at a changeup. Had Sotomayor looking a little bit silly. Was expecting fastball and got it something a little bit slower. So it's 0-2. Sotomayor going to have to protect. Dylan O'Neill with 3 walks, no strikeouts today. The 0-2 pitch, Sotomayor sends it out of play. So still 0-2. Levi asking for a little bit more sticky. Derek Almeida tosses him the pine tar stick. He rubs up the bat. Didn't want to lose his stick on a swing and a miss. So now he digs back in. It's a lefty-righty matchup, batter versus pitcher. Dylan O'Neill with men at first and second, and only 1 out. Levi Sotomayor trying to come through for the Pips. Here's the 0-2 pitch, an excuse me swing that is sent foul over on the left side. Probably not the worst thing in the world. It might have dropped in at the top of the zone for strike 3. So Levi might not have wanted to swing, but he might have gotten rung up. That foul ball probably saved him. The count remains 0-2. The pitch. Wave and a miss. The bottom dropped out of a curveball. First strikeout of the evening for Dylan O'Neill. There's 2 away here in the 4th inning. That'll bring up the catcher, Jackson Upton. Upton grounded out to the shortstop back in the 2nd inning. Man, Goodman's been a busy man. 1 out he made in the first, 2 outs he made in the second. He got all 3 outs himself in the 3rd. Breaking ball missing upstairs to Jackson, 1-0. And then he committed the error to start the 4th inning, then immediately got a pop-up. That is a lot of work for Goodman. 1-0. Another excuse me swing. Upton sends this one foul over on the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike. That one was probably ball 2. Fastball that came back inside on the hands of Upton. Righty-righty matchup. O'Neill sets at the belt. 1-1. Breaking ball right over Broad Street. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jackson going to have to protect here with 2 men on and 2 outs. Derek Almeida waiting on deck. O'Neill ready. Fires the 1-2. A breaking ball. Late on it is Upton. Somebody was standing right up against the netting. Pulled their hands and their face back before that ball made contact. Can't be leaning up against that netting if you're sitting in the premium seats. That's a good way to get hurt. 1-2 pitch. Fastball drilled down the right field line, but this is foul. Bounces through the Elks bullpen, and we'll do it again at 1-2. Parker and Luis return to their bases. Parker at second, Luis at first. Upton waits on the 1-2 from O'Neill. A breaking ball downstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hour into the contest here at Vince Genna Stadium. We're in the top of the 4th inning. The Elks trailing the Pippins 1-0. First and second, 2 outs. Dylan O'Neill looking back to second. Looks again. Here's the 2-2 to Jackson Upton. He stays alive and shoots it foul over on the right side. Bounces across 5th Street and into the front yard of one of the houses. Good fight being put up here by Upton, driving the pitch count over 70 for Dylan O'Neill. Who's going to win the long at bat? 2-2. A line drive down into right field for a base knock. Parker's going to get on his horse. He's going to try to score. Here comes the throw from Cahill. The play at the plate, the tag, not applied in time. Parker scores. RBI single for Jackson Upton, and the Pippins lead it 2-0. Burt had a nifty slide to avoid the tag as well. And it's Jackson Upton who wins the long at bat. So the Pippins now leading 2-0. And here's Derek Almeida with runners at the corners. You've got a catcher over at first, Jackson Upton. He's going to take off. Almeida going to put it in play. He is hobbling around. It's a foul ball. Home plate umpire Clayton Kellogg was ready to call that fair over at third, but his field umpire Jacob Fisher called that foul on the field. Alan Cox saying, you better figure it out to the umpires. The Elks clearing the field. Almeida saying that he was hit with that. Cox is fired up. He's avoiding trying to go out and chat. The Elks going to have to move back out onto the field. That was a foul ball called by Jacob Fisher. Fisher threw his hands up immediately for the foul ball. Almeida never even left the batter's box because he was hobbling around on his foot that he fouled the ball off of. Upton was in motion. So the count's 0-1. Upton in motion again. This pitch skips away from Smith. Coming home to score is Garcia, and the Pips lead it 3-0. Wild pitch gets away from Smith. Garcia crosses the plate for the second time. Alan Cox is furious over in that first base dugout. You can give Jackson Upton a stolen base. He was running on the pitch. So 1-1 now. Almeida singles through the right side. Upton charging hard to third. He's going to get the stop sign. Derek Almeida with a single here in the 4th, and the Pippins keep the inning alive. Upton at third, Almeida at first, and Tyson Miller, the leadoff man, coming back for the 3rd time. We're in the 4th inning. Alan Cox walking very frustrated out to the mound. Looks like he's going to be making a pitching change. Takes the ball out of the hand of Dylan O'Neill, who thought he had out number 3 on a foul ball that went off of Derek Almeida's foot. We'll have a new pitcher when we come back. Pippins lead at 3-0. They've got runners at the corners and 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning at Vince Genna Stadium. Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium. The Pippins lead it 3-0. I bring you back as Owen Smith comes into the game for his first appearance with the Elks. The umpires, in between that pitching change, had Alan Cox barking at them. I think some words were being said from the Pippins dugout as well as the Elks dugout as tensions get tight here in a series that had a close game one, but then a very dominant Bend game two, 13-1. Our umpiring crew of Clayton Kellogg behind the plate and Jacob Fisher in the field are out talking to Alan Cox, who was frustrated with the foul ball call that kept the at-bat alive for Almeida. He would eventually single into right field. And so he was hot because of that. He brings in a new pitcher. The Pippins have scored 2 runs here in the 4th inning. Umpires trying to play damage control here. I haven't seen any official warnings be issued to either side. That doesn't mean they haven't been. I was told yesterday, once we got back to the hotel, that actually both teams had started the game last night with official warnings. The umpiring crew was telling both squads that we don't want any of what happened in the 8th and the 9th inning of Friday night, which was basically just a little bit of jawing back and forth. Tensions are hot, though, here at Vince Genna Stadium, as Smith has been done with his warm-ups for about a minute and a half now. He's been periodically tossing a pitch or two. Now the umpire is going to make the trek across the field to talk to Coach Crustangel potentially. They're going to, I believe, officially warn somebody. Didn't look like there were any ejections. They're pointing at somebody in the Pippins dugout. Smith having a laugh with Tyson Miller. They just want to get the at-bat going. Wonder who they're pointing at. Taking my glasses off here to put on the binoculars. I did not see any points like an ejection, more so points just like warnings. Pippin's dugout trying to get this whole situation figured out. Top of the order, waiting to hit here in a 3-0 ball game in the top of the 4th. We were speeding right along through the first 3. The steno pads are put back in the notebook. Coach Crustangel pointing down to the dugout. Was somebody tossed? Trey Godoy is walking off the field with his glove. He's going to have to leave the premises. Wow. Was he ejected? Looks to be. He's going to grab something from the dugout really quick. Coach Crustangel trying to mitigate the situation. This game not going to continue until he leaves, it appears. And Godoy going to have to exit the field here. And he'll get to listen to the stream from the bus. That's a first for me. Trey Godoy has apparently been ejected from this game here in the top of the fourth inning. First pitch from Smith in this ball game misses down and away, a ball on a breaking ball, 1-0. We did not see very many ejections at all last year, coaches or players. As now Miller sends one foul over the screen, 1-1. I didn't see any points like the ejection, but apparently Godoy said something that was heard by the umpiring crew. Hard to believe you can point somebody out down in the dugout. Runners at the corners, 1-1. Tyson chops one high out towards second base. Goodman, the shortstop, coming in. The throw is low, but it is in time to get the speedy Tyson Miller. And the fourth inning is going to come to a conclusion. The Pippins get 2 runs on 2 hits. There's 1 error by the Elks, and there are 2 men left on base. Trey Godoy has exited the ballpark, and we go to the bottom of the fourth inning, 3-0 Yakima Valley. Tensions boiling high here at Vince Genna Stadium. Well, tensions are high here at Vince Genna Stadium as we enter the bottom of the fourth inning. Coach Crustangel having a chat with both of our umpires after it appears 1 or more Yakima Valley Pippins were ejected from this game from the dugout during a little bit of back and forth verbally with the 2 sides. Luke McGuire finished his warm-up tosses as Troy Sanders gets ready to get into the batter's box. I for sure saw Trey Godoy leave, but I think there were more players that were ejected during that sequence. Looked like the umpires were signaling a 2-5. That would be Parker Burt. And also potentially maybe a 3-1. I saw one of the umpires hold up a 3. Tyson Miller got to hit, so it wasn't him. It might be Francisco Lopez. And so the umpiring crew trying to get this thing sorted out. I did not see any ejections for the Elks, even though it appeared that they were part of the ones instigating it. Alan Cox came out pretty hot after a foul ball that they thought was a ground out. But now we're getting set to play ball here. I don't see Alan Cox down in the dugout anymore. As the first pitch from Troy Sanders is a one-hopper over to third. Daichi, a long throw, picked out at first by Sotomayor. One pitch, one out here in the fourth. So I'll pass on the information as I get it. But yeah, as I look down into the Elks dugout, I do not see Alan Cox anymore. Maybe he just went in to use the restroom or get a drink or something, but not the best communication up to the press box, as these are certainly unprecedented things. You know, the first pitch here by Jordan Ortiz is sent into left field for a base hit. Ortiz now 1 for 2 today. Cardboard box blowing around down near the Pippins bullpen in foul territory in left field. Looks like Bass Fry will pick up the scraps. So 2 pitches in, there's 1 out and a man on. Jordan Ortiz singled for Kim Beck comes up to the plate. First pitch bounces in, 1 ball and no strikes. What a game. 3-0 Yakima Valley. Runner takes off at first. The pitch is outside. The throw down by Upton's a good one. The tag applied. It is in time to catch Jordan Ortiz. Second runner caught stealing by Jackson Upton, and there's 2 away with the bases clear. I'm hearing across the press box that Alan Cox was also tossed, so we've got both sides with people leaving this game. As the next pitch is popped up into left field. Miller coming in. He will square. He will put it away. And a very quick inning pitched by Luke McGuire. He faces the minimum. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, none left on. Tensions are high here at Vince Genna Stadium. Folks dropping like flies. We'll be back for the top of the 5th in just a moment. Well, after a slew of ejections and a long delay to get things figured out, Luke McGuire goes out and throws 5 pitches to get 3 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Elks trying to get off the field, the on-field promotion ahead of Daichi Furuhata, Nick Velasquez, and Parker Burt. But like I said, It looked as though our umpiring crew motioned a 2-5 over towards the Pippins dugout, and I think Parker might have been one of the guys tossed from this game. We'll have to see who appears in the on-deck circle in just a moment as Daichi takes a first pitch right at the knees for strike one from Owen Smith. All of this starting off on a ball that was fouled off of Derek Almeida's foot that Alan Cox was a little bit hot on as the 0-1 comes in, 1 ball and 1 strike. The field umpire, Jacob Fisher, immediately called it foul. The home plate umpire, Clayton Kellogg, let the play develop, and the Elks thought they got an out. 1-1, a pop-up in foul territory back towards the netting, running up towards the fencing, and running into it is Smith. He can't make the catch. So it's Hayden Smith catching for Owen Smith, but the Smiths spell their last names differently. Smith on the mound with a Y, Smith behind the dish with an I. Daichi in a 1-2 count. Coming set at the letters is Smith. The 1-2 pitch in. Daichi watches it high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So hopefully cooler heads prevail the rest of this game. We've got about half a contest left to play. 2-2. Daichi plunked. That was a fastball that seemingly got away from Smith. Not much ill intention, it looked like. Daichi's not a guy that's going to go stir anything up either. As of now, here's Nick Velasquez. Malachi Emery Henderson has grabbed a bat and is in the on-deck circle, so I think my hypothesis is true that Parker Burt might have gotten ejected. First pitch in tight to Nick Velasquez. That's ball one at 84. So Malachi will grab a bat. He hasn't played since game one of the series. Check over to first. It skips in. Good block by Beck to keep that from going away. 1 ball and no strikes. So either Coach Crustangel pulling Parker because he got hit by a pitch and reached on an error. I find that highly unlikely. So the hypothesis right now is that Burt got ejected as there's a strike on the outer half to make the count 1-1. So the total right now of ejections, first a 1-1, here it comes. Breaking ball, just a touch off, 2 balls and a strike. 1 for Bend, their head coach Alan Cox. Second time he's been tossed against the Pippins. And then for Yakima Valley, it is for sure Trey Godoy, and it appears to be Parker Burt. As the 2-1 is sent high out into left center field. Sasidko and Pupo coming together. It'll be Sasidko who makes the catch over his shoulder. 1 away here in the 5th. That'll bring up Malachi Emery Henderson. So that gives me a very good sense that it looks like Parker was probably involved in those ejections. He's been on twice today. There's really no reason to pull him other than an injury, but he ran the bases for himself and he scored. 3 have been tossed for Yakima Valley, it looks like, and 1 for Bend. Something we don't deal with a lot in the West Coast League. Try not to get tensions too high, and the Pippins have done a good job of avoiding that in tense games. Daichi at first, lefty-lefty matchup now. Malachi, first pitch he sees is high for ball 1. The throw from the catcher Smith gets into right field. Coming in Cahill to grab it. They'll limit Daichi to 1 extra base on a throwing error by Smith. So now a man in scoring position with 1 out. Emory Henderson, back in game 1, had 4 strikeouts. Malachi on the season, batting below 200. 1-0 inside, nearly clipped him. 2 balls and no strikes. Malachi officially hitting 182 for Yakima Valley. Smith comes set over on the third base side of the rubber. 2-0, breaking ball misses outside. The count is 3 balls and no strikes. Daichi standing out at second. Malachi trying to coax a walk. 3-0 pitch, right there for strike 1. Jay O'Neill waiting on deck. Long look in, now a look back to second. 3-1 to Malachi. Here's a high drive out towards right field. Cahill settling under it on the track. He's moving into shadow. He will make the catch. Tagging from second, trying for third is Daichi. The throw pulls. The third baseman petted off the line. Productive out for Emory Henderson. There's 2 away and a man at third. Malachi got it fairly deep out there to right, but just too much launch angle. So with 2 away, Jay O'Neill will hit. O'Neill today 0 for 2, a ground out and a pop-up, both to the shortstop. He squares to bunt with 2 outs, and the first pitch is taken high for ball 1. One 0, taking tight, 2 balls and no strikes. It's been an odd start to the middle innings. 2-0. Jay pops this one straight up, back behind the dish. Looks like it's going to land up on top of the press box. 2-1. Nearing the halfway point in this game, Yakima Valley leads at 3-0 on 3 hits. Bend with 4 hits. 2-1. Pitch misses upstairs. The count moves to 3-1. If Jay could reach, Luis Garcia, who's been on twice, would come up to hit. 3-1, ball 4. Fastball missed upstairs. So with 2 away, there's runners at the corners. Garcia 1 for 1, a single and a walk. He scored 2 of the Pippins' 3 runs. Time going to be called. Looks like we're going to have a visit out on the mound, and a pitching change going to be made by the new Bend Elks acting skipper. This is not John Kemp, who is their third base coach. This is one of their other coaches. And so we'll have a new arm when we get back. Pippins lead at 3-0. Runners are at the corners here in the top of the 5th at Vince Genna Stadium.
Well, I know, man, I put 2 songs. Here we go. Here's the video. This is other stories. We're not gonna be here in the room scrolls. One more time. Oh, yeah. Watching on the TV, here in the house. We got to put a pretty once you know here like the late when you don't it's down like me. Right. Which is the one.
New arm into the contest for the Bend Elks. This is Braven Nason from Skagit Valley College on the season for Bend. 9 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts to 2 walks. Jay takes off on the first move. The pitch is inside. They're going to concede the stolen base as Luis Garcia is ahead in the count 1-0. Runners at second and third for Yakima Valley trying to extend this 3-0 lead. We've had 4 ejections in the game, 3 for the Pippins, 1 for the Elks. 1-0, Garcia back up the box. This is going to sneak through for a hit. Daichi scores. Here comes Jay. He's going to chug home without a throw. It's 5-0 Yakima Valley on Luis Garcia's second hit of the afternoon. Five nothing Pippins, and despite losing 3 members of their bench, actually 2 of them plus a starter, they are pouring it on to start this game. Got to continue to add on. Both runs going to be charged to Smith as the first pitch misses high and away to Levi Sotomayor. What a day for Garcia. 2 for 2 with 2 RBI and a walk. He's scored twice. He takes off for second. The pitch is outside for a ball. The throw down gets away and into center field. The throw was on target, but it bounced off Luis's leg. And so he'll advance to third. A stolen base and then likely a throwing error. And so the Pippins have another run standing 90 feet away. Sotomayor just needs a base hit to make it 6-0. The pitch outside. 2 balls and no strikes. So you can close the book on Smith. Goes 1 inning. No hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. Pitch outside. And Levi will draw a walk. Scoreboard must have had it incorrect up out in right field. So it's runners at the corners again for Yakima Valley, and here comes Jackson Upton. Smith 1 run or 1 inning, no hits. 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, no strikeouts. Runner takes off. Levi trying to get into a rundown. They're just going to let him take second base. So another stolen bag for the Pippins as Smith puts it in his back pocket to prevent Garcia from coming home. The count's 0-1 as the pitch was a strike. Breaking ball, strike 2. As Jackson Upton 1 for 2 today finds himself behind against Nason. 0-2 pitch to the Pippins catcher. A breaking ball called strike 3. Yakima Valley able to extend their lead by 2. They get 2 runs on only 1 hit. There was an error, and there were 2 runners left on base. Halfway home here at Vince Genna Stadium, 5-0 Yakima Valley. You're listening to Pippins Baseball. Bottom of the fifth inning here between the Bend Elks and the Yakima Valley Pippins. Pippins lead it 5-0 here in the fifth. It's been an interesting afternoon turning into evening here at Vince Genna Stadium. A combined 4 ejections between the two teams, 1 for Bend, 3 for Yakima Valley. As Luke McGuire returns to work after a little bit longer of a break, he misses high and away with ball 1, a breaking ball. Will Cahill, Brady Pettit, and Will Goodman are the 3 scheduled hitters here in the fifth inning. The second pitch is fouled off over towards first base. It's 1-1. Cahill single back in the second inning was left stranded at third after a stolen base. McGuire gonna hopefully work pretty deep into this game as he shoots one out towards center field. O'Neill barely had to move. He puts the glove up and makes the catch for out number 1. You look at the pitch count for Luke. 55 pitches. You're here in the fifth inning. One of the folks, as we continue to confirm who exactly was ejected, included Francisco Lopez for the Pippins. He likely was going to be used in a high leverage situation tonight as the first pitch to Brody Pettit catches the top of the zone for strike 1. So that now out the window. You'd love to see McGuire go fairly deep into this game. 0-1, sent foul out of play over on the right. This is going to one hop, right up against the side of a white Nissan sedan. That might have got the gas cap. 0-2 pitch. On the ground, out towards Velasquez. He scoops, he fires. 2 outs here in the fifth inning. That brings up Will Goodman. Lined out to Levi Sotomayor to end the second inning. That's why Will Cahill was left stranded at third. It fooled me off the bat. I thought it snuck through, but Sotomayor made the catch. McGuire out of the windup. First pitch, just a touch high and away with a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. Weather conditions continue to be nice here at Vince Genna Stadium. First the 1-0. That's a strike right at the letters. It's actually gotten warmer from a few hours ago when I checked it. Says 90. It was 88 when I refreshed the page at first pitch. 1-1. On the ground, down the line, Daichi slides, backhands, long throw across from the hot corner. Sotomayor digs it out. What a play by Daichi Furuhata at the hot corner. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. We're through 5 innings here at Vince Genna Stadium. The Pippins lead at 5-0 here on the Sunday after the fourth.
One, the target match on the Phoenix or a bullseye. You're going, oh, hi. One is Mickey Mouse's pet dog named Luigi, one is Luigi. Sword, the air on the face. That's all it's on. Question for the question, dog and band. I got it, we're getting something. What is it? The club dog in Tuesday, the wall on its vertical, while it's on wind. So that's fine. What's the name of the one you saw on the winter off? It's the winter, and the winter flies the last living in the relation. Now in the Holy Elks of Rutgers University, number 37.
Welcome to the top of the 6th inning here at Vince Genna Stadium as we scoot merrily along. New pitcher into the game for the Bend Elks after Estep goes a third of an inning, gives up 1 hit, no runs of his own, 1 walk and 1 strikeout on 9 pitches. This is Christian Estep from Rogers State College. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma is where he calls home. He's 1-0 in 9 games with a 13 innings pitched under his belt, 6 walks, 6 strikeouts, 10 hits, and 3 earned runs for a 2.08 ERA. In case those of you are interested in some World Cup action, it's 2-1 England over Mexico, about to reach the halftime mark. England scored twice in about 3 minutes as the first pitch misses high and tight. 1-0 here to Derek Almeida, who's 1 for 2 today with a single. That single in the 3rd inning, or rather the 4th inning, was what kind of sparked all of the ejections, as the next offering is upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. He fouled a ball off of his foot that Jacob Fisher immediately called foul from the B position. Clayton Kellogg let it play out. The Elks thought they had out number 3. They had to go back on the field as a broken bat flare into center field. No, this is at second base. That is out number 1. That was a clean cut broken bat by Derek Almeida. The handle is sitting on the first base line. The barrel is now being brought to Almeida from the warning track. That was about as clean of a split as you're ever going to see on a wood bat. He pops out to the second baseman, Sanders. There's 1 away, back to the top of the order for the Pippins. But it was that single after the maybe not foul ball that sparked some jabbering between the two sides as Miller takes the first pitch he sees out to left field. Sisidko backing up into the shade makes the catch. 2 away here in the 6th. Pippins, from what we've figured out here in the press box, had Trey Godoy, Francisco Lopez, and Parker Burt ejected. And for Bend, Alan Cox is tossed for the 3rd time this season, 2nd time against Yakima Valley. So Daichi Furuhata digs in for the 4th time, hit by a pitch back in the 5th inning. Other than that, he's 0 for 2. First offering, a breaking ball downstairs by Estep to make the count 1-0. Pippin sporting a 5-0 lead here in the 6th inning, trying to escape Bend with a series victory. Furuhata watching the next pitch all the way. It's high and away, ball 2. On the summer, Estep has worked against quite a few different opponents as he fires a fastball right at the knees at 88 to make it 2-1. His first appearance was on opening night against Springfield, win an inning. Marion, then back-to-back, or I should say a couple of days in Walla Walla as Daichi Flares went over on the right side in foul territory for the first baseman Beck to make the catch. A quick 1-2-3 inning pitched by Eastep. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on by the Pippins. We go to the bottom of the sixth, 5-0 Yakima Valley here at Vince Genna Stadium. Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium, Yakima Valley Pippins baseball live here in Bend, Oregon. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Pippins. It's the bottom of the sixth inning, and due up will be Hayden Smith, Eli Pupo, and Dimitri Sisitko, 8-9-1 in the Bend order, to face Luke McGuire, who is out for his sixth inning of work. Luke, to this point, doing a pretty good job of limiting damage. Had a 5-pitch inning, or a 6-pitch inning, it was one of the two, in the fifth frame, as he fires ball one down and in to Hayden Smith. The catcher flew out to left field back in the third inning as the 1-0 comes in and is lined out to Derek, backing up into the grass, sets his feet, throws a long way. Sotomayor stretches, out number one on 2 pitches for McGuire. Now here's Eli Pupo, singled back in the third. McGuire, to this point, has allowed 4 hits. Has been definitely using his defense behind him to get help, though. Not been focused on strikeouts. He's got 1 of them tonight. First pitch to Pupo, lefty-lefty matchup, sent foul out of play behind us. 0-1. Sunday late afternoon, turning into evening as we approach the 7 o'clock hour here in Bend. The 0-1 on the ground, another chance for Almeida. Gets a friendly turf off the throw. He has to hurry, but he is out over at first. Definitely a quicker runner with the center fielder hustling down the first base line, but Almeida made the play. There's 2 away for the top of the order, Dimitri Sisitko. 4 pitches in the inning so far for McGuire. These Elks are certainly helping him out. Hopefully that trend continues. First pitch to Sisitko, a chance for Almeida to get all 3. Another 5-pitch inning pitched by Luke McGuire, all 3 outs. Ground outs to Derek Almeida. Getting late here in Bend. The top of the 7th inning is next. Pippins lead at 5-0 over the Elks. This is Pippins Baseball from Bend, Oregon. It's the top of the seventh inning. Nick Velasquez leads it off for the Yakima Valley Pippins as he takes the first pitch. Fastball down, but called a strike from Christian Eastep for an 0-1 count. Pippins lead it 5-0, wearing their blue tops with blue caps and gray pants, green batting helmets when they're in the circle. 0-1 looping breaking ball stays upstairs. It's 1-1. Bend wearing their gold tops with a black bend up on the chest, white pants with a brown stripe. 1-1 pitch on the ground over towards first. A high hop to Beck. The first baseman going to flip it to the pitcher covering. Out is the call at first. Panch bobbing his knees up and down. He thought that his second baseman beat the play out. Instead, it's out number one on the 3-1 putout. That was close. Now it's Malachi Emery Henderson for the second time. Emery Henderson flew out in his first at-bat back in the fifth inning as he takes a strike on the outer black. Malachi comes in for Parker Burt, who we have closely assumed that has been part of the ejection slew back in the fourth inning. A breaking ball drops in for strike two. Wouldn't make sense to pinch hit for Parker after getting on twice and peering down into the Pippins dugout. Does not appear that Burt is among the reserves. 0-2, that pitch skips in. It's 1-2 strikes. And so those three Pippins having to leave the premises. Hopefully they're listening in on the stream. 1-2. A late firework as Malachi swings and puts it on the ground to Sanders. He gets up, he falls down, but the throw was made in time to get Emery Henderson. What a play out there by Sanders, popping up just enough to get the throw off. There's two away here in the top of the seventh. Jay O'Neill will dig in. O'Neill drew a walk back in the fifth inning and came around to score. Pippins lead at 5-0. Jay, the most recent run to cross the plate. First pitch drops in from Eastep for strike one. It was a breaking ball in the mid-70s. Eastep working quick, similar to McGuire, as he misses high and away with a fastball to make the count 1-1. Luke likely going to come back out for the seventh. Pitch count under 70 right now. 1-1, another breaking ball. This one just a touch low as it crossed the plate. So 2 balls and a strike. Luis Garcia waiting on deck. He's been on all 3 times today. He's driven in 2 runs. 2-1, backs Jay away as it's a fastball down and in. 3 balls and 1 strike. McGuire will have to face 2, 3, and 4 in the bend order when he makes his way out for the seventh after the stretch. 3-1 pitch. O'Neill fouls this off his foot, and the count will run full. Jay digs back in. The lefty stick waiting on the righty approach. Eastep, a modified windup. Here's the payoff pitch. It's a high chop, but it is foul over at first. Beck was chasing after it just in case it crossed the bag fair. But Jacob Fisher, who has jurisdiction beyond the first base bag, made the call that that ball was indeed not in fair territory. It'll be another payoff pitch upcoming. Here it is. Fastball high and away. That's ball 4. The inning continues for Luis Garcia. Second walk drawn by Jay O'Neill. So the Pippins have a 2-out base runner here in the 7th, trying to add on to a 5-0 lead. Garcia singles in the 2nd and the 5th. Runs scored in the 2nd and the 4th. He has 2 RBI. He's responsible for 4 of the Pippins' 5 runs tonight. First pitch, fastball just outside. 1 ball and no strikes to this right-handed bat. Garcia had a similar performance up in Edmonton when he went 4 for 5. As the next offering is a fastball upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. That really helped him. Brought his batting average up, I believe it was 20 points or so. 2-0. Here's a line drive that's going to get past the glove of Sanders and into center field. Third knock for Luis Garcia today. The inning continues for Sotomayor. Two of his 3 hits have been straight up the middle. Luis seeing the ball well here despite the sun slowly starting to set into the eyesight of the battery. Seven o'clock here in Bend, Oregon. We're almost 2 hours into the contest. Here in the top of the 7th, Pippins lead at 5-0. First pitch to Levi Sotomayor is a fastball stuck on the outer block to the lefty. No balls and 1 strike. Levi today 0 for 2, a fly out, a strikeout, and a walk. 0-1, same spot, same result. 89 miles an hour for strike 2. Pips down to their final strike before the stretch. Trying to extend on a 5-0 lead. It appears this game has calmed down just a touch from what we had earlier on in the 4th. 0-2. Luis checks his swing, or it's Luis, that's Levi, checks his swing. The pitch was down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. You've got O'Neill at second, Garcia at first. The 1-2 pitch. Sotomayor chops it slowly out towards third. Pettit fields it cleanly despite Jay running in his way. The toe stays on the first base bag for Beck, and it is a 5-3 putout to end the top of the 7th. Stretch time here at Vince Genna Stadium. Pippins lead at 5-0. We'll be right back. In the 7th inning here at Vince Genna Stadium. Pippins lead at 5-0. Luke McGuire out for his 7th inning of work to face Troy Sanders, Jordan Ortiz, and Cameron Beck. Sanders today 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Over the last 2 innings of work, Luke McGuire has thrown 10 pitches. It's part of the reason why he's still in the game. Clayton Kellogg saying there's something up against the backstop bricks. Looks like some of the warm-up equipment for Yakima Valley, maybe a sliding mitt that somebody left. Sanders digs into the right-hand batter's box near the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch. That's a breaking ball that stays upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. If McGuire can continue to work like this, might as well just ride him as long as he's throwing strikes. 1-0, there's a strike right at the letters, 1-1. The fastball still at around 85 for Luke. Getting deep into games if you're McGuire. 1-1, a flare down the left field line. Miller was playing more towards center field. He's looking up, and this ball is gone. First run of the ball game, Troy Sanders goes yard. The Bend Elks snap their 0. And we'll see how the shift transitions for McGuire. That's the 5th hit of the game for the Elks. But only 1 run. Pippins still lead by 4. If you remember, it was a solo shot back on Friday night that made it a 1-run game off the bat of Jace Miller. Pippins were still able to work and get the win and the save in that one if you're John Witt. 330 out there to left field. That ball disappeared into the high sky as the sun starts to set for me, so I think it landed up on top of the building. First pitch swinging and serving into right field, a base knock is Jordan Ortiz. So there's another hit given up by Luke as he crosses the 70-pitch threshold. That'll bring up Cam Beck. Yakima Valley's got most of their arms still available. You had Nathaniel Carano pitch on Friday, John Witt on Friday, Francisco Lopez on Friday. Lopez, of course, one of the ejected players for Yakima Valley. First pitch, slider right over the knees. No balls and 1 strike here to Cam Beck, who's 0 for 2. Hound Tanaka likely done. He pitched last night. Same thing with Bass Fry. 0-1. Here's a changeup on the ground out to Almeida. Double play opportunity to flip to Nick for 1. The relay on to first, double play. The perfect response for Luke McGuire and the Pippins after giving up the solo home run and a single. 2 away, base is empty here in a 4-run game. "6-4-3 is how you score it. And the bags are empty for Will Cahill. First pitch to him is a sharp single into center field. O'Neill will gather and get it back in. So the Elks get yet another hit against McGuire. That's now 7 against Luke, but only the 1 run to show for it right now. Brady Pettit, 1 for 2 today. Will Cahill had a single back in the 2nd, so he is now 2 for 3. A check over to first. McGuire with the D move. Not a very laser-like throw over there to Levi Sotomayor. 5-1 the score. Pettit waiting on his first pitch. It is in. It is up. 1 ball and no strikes. In the 8th inning, Yakima Valley will have Upton, Almeida, and Miller, 8, 9, and 1 in their order. 1-0, a line drive off the glove of Luke McGuire and into center field. There's another base hit for the Bend Elks. Runners are at first and second. 2 away. As now Ethan Solscheider going to head out to the hill to talk to his starter. We haven't seen a deep appearance by a Pippins starter in quite a while. Jake Cumming went 3 2/3. Austin Dillon went 4. Even in the non-leagues, nobody made it out of the fourth inning.
Yep.
And so you go back through all of the appearances. It's Luke McGuire against Kelowna during the 4-3 victory on Saturday of last week that went 6 innings, giving up only 2 runs. One of them was earned. Luke certainly putting together a candidacy for the All-Star game in a couple of series. Can't say a couple of weeks. We're under the 2-week mark. Hard to believe that. Here's Will Goodman, the shortstop. He's been a busy man today. A lot of outs have come his way. He's also committed an error. First pitch, breaking ball, just a touch high and away. 1 ball and no strikes. On the batter's box side, though, Will Goodman 0 for 2, a line out and a ground out. The line out was to first, the ground out was to third. 1-0 pitch. Here's a looper into left field. This is getting down for a base knock. 1 run's going to come home to score. The throw goes into third. It's now 5-2 as the Elks inch closer. 3 straight singles after the double play. Will Cahill scores. Give Will Goodman an RBI. Moving up to second is Brady Pettit. So now representing the tying run is Hayden Smith. He's 0 for 2 today. Pippin's bullpen might start to stir a little bit. First offering, a changeup right at the knees, 0-1. You expect McGuire to hit a few speed bumps as he gets deep into this game. Broaching the 80 pitch threshold. Just need 1 out to get through 7 here. He might get it here. Shallow pop out to right field. Garcia coming in. He says he has it. He adjusts. He makes the catch. And the Pippins get out of the 7th inning. It's 2 runs on 5 hits, including a solo home run by Troy Sanders to lead off the inning. There were no errors. There were 2 men left on base. 8th inning is next. Pippins lead at 5-2 here at Vince Genna Stadium. Don't go anywhere. 2 innings left to play here in Bend.
And how they can already from high five.
Top of the eighth inning, Pippins have 6 outs to try to re-extend the lead. They gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the seventh inning, a solo home run and an RBI single. 2 men were left on base for Bend as we make it to the final 2 frames. New pitcher into the game for the Elks is Jackson Ashley, a incoming freshman to Gonzaga from Oregon City, Oregon. On the season for the Elks, 5 games, 7 innings, 5 strikeouts to 1 walk, 3 hits and no earned runs allowed by Ashley. Opponents hitting 125 against the future Bulldog. And so the coaching staff for the Elks, as after Alan Cox was tossed in the 4th inning, going to an arm that they trust to try to finish this game. Ashley winds and sends the first pitch in at the knees to strike 1 to Jackson Upton. 8-9-1 for the Pippins, as the 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed on the outside part of the plate by Upton to make the count 0-2. Upton 1 for 3 today, a single, a strikeout, and a groundout. Bend starting to cut into this Pippins lead. Wave and a miss on 3 pitches. Upton first strikeout tonight for Ashley. That'll bring up Derek Almeida, who is 1 for 3 as well. Singled in the 4th, grounded out in the 2nd, popped out in the 6th. Here in the 8th, the left-hander Ashley stands clear over on the first base side of the rubber and comes cross-body when he delivers home. Almeida takes strike 1 at the knees. That's 4 straight strikes to start the inning for Ashley. A whip through 5 games for Ashley of only .57. 0-1 sent foul out of play. Makes it now 0-2. 5-2 the score. Elks lead the hit column 9-5. They've also committed 2 errors tonight. 0-2 pitch to Almeida. Here's a ground ball out towards shortstop. Goodman up with it. The throw across the diamond is in time for out number 2. So 6 pitches, 2 outs, although it's not going to be an immaculate inning, as Almeida grounded out instead of striking out. Back to the top of the order, Tyson Miller for the 5th time tonight. Yakima Valley needs to find 6 outs on defense. John Witt is stretching down in the Yakima Valley bullpen. First pitch, down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Tyson drew a walk back in the 3rd inning. This is the 4th pitcher used out of the bullpen after Dylan O'Neill for the Elks. As here's a sharp line drive out to center field. Pupo squares it up. He has it. And the side is retired on 8 pitches. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Pippins get no runs on no hits, no errors, and none left on. 6 outs on defense. All that's left for Yakima Valley. Who comes out? Is it Is it McGuire, or is it someone new? We'll find out coming up in just a second. Bottom of the 8th inning here for the Bend Elks as they trail by 3 against the Yakima Valley Pippins. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Pips. Bend got 2 runs on 5 hits against Luke McGuire as he remains in the game at 79 pitches. Lefty-lefty matchup, showing bunt and pushing it foul over towards the Pippins dugout. 0-1 as Eli Pupo tried to steal a base hit with Daichi playing back. Could not get the bunt down in fair territory, though. You've got Pupo, then Sasidko and Sanders. Sanders was the one that led off the 7th inning with the home run. Pitch misses just inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. John Witt throwing the plyos down in the bullpen. McGuire going to be asked to try to get through this 8th inning. 1-1, high and tight. Pupo got out of the way. It's 2 balls and a strike. Luke missed with a fastball. Over 80 pitches now for McGuire. Trying to get through 8 innings. Breaking ball drops in. Pupo disagrees, but good slider by Luke. It's 2-2. McGuire with only 1 strikeout tonight. It was Troy Sanders way back in the 1st inning. He's been able to use contact to his advantage. The 2-2 pitch bounces in. Another breaking ball. The count runs full. Pippin's defense has been good behind McGuire. Out of the windup, here's the payoff pitch. A wave and a miss. Top shelf fastball. Second strikeout of the night for Luke McGuire. There's 1 away here in the 8th. Luke's going to sleep well on the way home. 85 pitches now for McGuire. I would say this all but solidifies his candidacy for the West Coast League All-Star game. He'll have likely 1 more start before the All-Star game. As the top of the order, Dmitry Sasidko watches ball 1 down and away with a changeup. Sasidko today 0 for 3, 2 ground outs and a line drive right at Nick Velasquez. 1-0 from Luke. Trying to bunt. This is popped foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sasidko again trying to catch the Pippins napping, to the disgust of some of the fans here at Vince Genna Stadium. 1-1. Here's a looping line drive foul down the left field line on top of the Ben Field house, and it's now 1-2. And McGuire get back-to-back strikeouts after getting 1 through his first 7 innings. Luke into the motion. The 1-2 pitch. Wave and a miss. Tag applied there by Upton. He's going to throw down just to make sure. But Clayton Kellogg says that Upton did, in fact, get the tag down. And so there's 2 away. And the last hope in the 8th inning for the Elks is Troy Sanders. McGuire about to hit the 90 pitch threshold with this pitch here. Here it comes. Sanders a big cut and a miss. Tried to get his 2nd home run. For Troy Sanders, that home run back in the 7th was his 5th of the season. All of them in league play. 0-1. Pitch just a bit high and away with a fastball, 1-1. John Witt has transitioned from the plyo wall to the bullpen as he prepares for the bottom of the 9th inning. McGuire's 1-1, a breaking ball sent very hard out to left field. Miller watching it. This ball will be gone. Troy Sanders, another home run. He's got the number of Luke McGuire. That makes it a 2-run contest. So make it now 6 on the season for Sanders. The second one was hit much better than the first. McGuire surrenders his 3rd run of the afternoon, all of them coming here in the late innings. That'll bring up Jordan Ortiz, who's 2 for 3 today. Salsa slowly making his way out to the hill. as he will try to calm down Luke and see if he can get him through one more out. You could bring in Witt if he's ready to go here in the 8th inning and have him get 4 outs. It's a 2-run contest after the second home run of the evening by Troy Sanders. It's also having a chat with Upton and McGuire. Probably more just a chance for Luke to catch his breath. Salsa departs. Upton departs. McGuire manicures the landing spot on that turf hill. Luke just needs one more out to be through 8 innings. Be the first time a Pippin has gotten through 8 this year. He went 7 2/3 up in Edmonton. Approaching the 100 pitch mark. 92 pitches to Luke McGuire's name. Bases empty, 2 outs. First pitch to Jordan Ortiz is high and away, ball 1. McGuire reared back and threw 87 there. Maybe a little frustrated after giving up the second home run to Sanders. Out of the full windup, the 1-0. Missed just a touch upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Coach Panch looking down towards the bullpen to see how Witt's doing. Coach Krusty as well. The 2-0 pitch. Here's a ground ball out towards Daichi. The third baseman has it. He throws across. Luke McGuire through 8 innings gives up 3 runs, all 3 of them in the late innings. 3 strikeouts, and what a performance by McGuire. We go to the top of the 9th. Pippin's trying to get some insurance here in a 2-run ball game. 5-3 here at Vince Genna Stadium. Top of the 9th inning here at Vince Genna Stadium. Daichi Furuhata, Nick Velasquez, Malachi Emery Henderson, the 3 scheduled for Yakima Valley against the new pitcher. We saw him on Friday, Josh Jackson from Eagle Point, Oregon. 2 saves on the season for the Elks through 8 1/3 innings. As his first offering catches the inner black to Daichi to make the count 0-1. Luke McGuire goes 95 pitches in this game and likely exits in line for the win. John Witt warming up in the Pippins bullpen here in a 2-run contest. 0-1. Misses upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pippins trying to add some insurance here. Furuhata was hit by a pitch in the 5th and scored. Nick Velasquez today is 0 for 3, but he drew a walk back in the 1st. Malachi Emery Henderson is 0 for 2 since entering the contest. 1-1. Jackson misses down and away. 2 balls and a strike. Saw him yesterday, actually, in the 13-1 win. He threw 1 perfect inning, ground out, fly out, fly out. That was in the 8th. His 4th pitch here in the 9th in a 2-run contest is high to Daichi. 3 balls and 1 strike. We'll see if back-to-back days affect Jackson at all. 6 walks issued today by the Bend Elks. Deep breath out there on the hill. The 3-1 from Jackson. Daichi swings and misses at a fastball. The count runs full. You'd love to see Daichi get on and put the pressure on immediately. Pippins lead by 2. John Witt with enough of a cushion, but you'd love to get a few more runs. Jackson set at the belt. Exhales. Here's the payoff pitch. Daichi on the ground out towards second. Sanders gets 2 hops. The throw to first is in time. 1 away here in the top of the 9th. That brings up Nick Velasquez. Like I just mentioned, 0 for 3 today, but he drew a walk back in the first inning. Nick has home run pop, chance to make it a 3-run game. Need to just really work here in the top of the 9th and delay the Elks bats as long as possible. They've got some momentum. The first pitch to Velasquez catches the outer black. Fastball to make it 0-1. John Witt sits alone at the top of the West Coast League in saves. He's got 6 of them. There's a 3-way tie for second place with 5. 0-1 misses well outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. And so a save tonight, if Witt can convert, would give him a 2-save lead over the league. Jackson sends home the 1-1. Velasquez shoots it foul over on the left side. So the count now 1-2. Nick trying to get on any way possible. Ground out, fly out, ground out is how Velasquez has been retired tonight after the walk in the first inning. Jackson brings home the 1-2. Velasquez takes it high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Josh Jackson, 2 seasons at Umpqua Community College. He's got 4 saves in his career there in 21 1/3 innings. Did have a higher walk number in 2026, 19 strikeouts to 16 walks. 2-2 pitch, down and away. Nick has worked the count full. In the 9th inning for Bend, it will be 4, 5, and 6 due up. There's 4 hits combined between those 3 batters. The Elks have 10 hits tonight. Jackson stands up tall, now exhales. The payoff pitch. Velasquez, a hard line drive out to the right center field gap. This is going to split it and go all the way to the wall. Nick rounds first. He will pull into second. No, he's going to keep going. This is going to be a stand-up triple for Nick Velasquez. Pippins have an insurance run 90 feet away with only 1 out here in the 9th. Second triple for Nick this summer. And let's see if Malachi can get a deep fly ball to drive him in and give the Pippins a little bit more breathing room. Infield going to play in as the run at third very precious. The difference between a 2-run game and a 3-run game. Malachi trying to send it deep. Hacks and misses at a pitch upstairs. Got a changeup. Emory Henderson, all he needs is deep contact to the outfield. 0-1 watches a pitch upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Malachi has 5 RBI on the season. A big number 6 waits over at third. 1-1 pitch just a touch outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Went with another changeup. Jay O'Neill waits on deck. This is where the RBI leader in the NWAC, Malachi Emory Henderson, needs to reemerge from Wenatchee Valley College. 2-1. Downstairs, 3 balls and 1 strike. You draw a walk as well, put the pressure on Jackson. The Linwood, Washington native here in a big spot for the Yakima Valley Pippins. Nick Velasquez at third, infield pulled in. 3-1. That's high, ball 4, and Malachi draws a walk. Runners at the corners with one away for Yakima Valley here in the top of the ninth. So now same concept applies here for Jay O'Neill. Anything but a ground ball if you're Jay. Coach Crustangel calling time. He's going to bring the offense together to have a quick chat on strategy here. O'Neill today has drawn 2 walks. He's 0 for 2. The man waiting on deck is Luis Garcia. He's got 3 hits. He's 3 for 3. This is who you want to have up at the plate right now. Jay O'Neill has deep ball potential to bring home Velasquez from third. Luis has seen the ball well tonight with his 3 hits. Malachi and Coach Pant return to first. Nick returns to third with Coach Krusty. And Jay returns to the left-hand batter's box. Jackson feeling some pressure out there on the hill. The guy that's converted a couple of saves for the Elks. In danger of losing that save situation for Yakima Valley. First pitch, Jay trying to bunt. He's going to push it past the pitcher. A run's going to score. And off the bag is Beck. A perfect drag bunt executed by Jay O'Neill. And the Pippins lead it 6-3. Jay got a running start in that left-hand batter's box and pulled it along with him as he ran. The only man who could have made a play was Jackson. Nick Velasquez scores. The Pippins have some insurance. There's still only 1 out. That's a huge infield single on the bunt attempt by Jay O'Neill. Perfect small ball executed by Yakima Valley. And Luis Garcia, who's 3 for 3 today, has runners at first and second with only 1 out. Garcia's scored twice. He's driven in 2 runs, 3 hits. First pitch catches the outer black for strike 1. Jay O'Neill comes up clutch and makes it a 3-run contest. The Pippins aren't done yet. 0-1, a sword-type swing from Garcia as he chased one upstairs, and the count now 0-2. Only 1 out, barring a double play. Luis Garcia, no, excuse me, he's in the box. Levi Sotomayor will come up. A look back to second by Jackson. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Luis sees a breaking ball and sends it foul over beyond the stands. Malachi Henry Henderson stands at second after a walk. Jay O'Neill at first after the RBI bunt single that he pulled past the pitcher's mound. 6-3 ball game. The 0-2 pitch to Luis. Downstairs with a fastball. The count moves to 1-2. It's been a hell of a ball game here at Yakima County or Vince Genna Stadium. 1-2 pitch. Luis chases a changeup down and away. He is strikeout victim number 1. He is out number 2 in the ninth. Last chance for more insurance is Levi Sotomayor. Sotomayor today 0 for 3 with a walk drawn. Nick Velasquez's run extra important. Makes it as big of a margin for a save opportunity for John Witt as possible. There's a strike. Right on the outer black, 0-1. Levi has an inside the park home run. He's also got some hard hit doubles. Jackson looks back to second, takes a deep breath. 0-1 pitch is skied a mile high over on the left side of the infield. Pettit circling around behind the bag. He makes the catch, and that will retire this side. Yakima Valley gets an all-important 1 run on a couple of hits, a triple by Nick Velasquez, a bunt single by Jay O'Neill, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. 3-run lead for John Witt as he tries to convert a West Coast League leading 7th save, and we will return shortly to Vince Genna Stadium here in Bend, Oregon.
Now, I think they're on the battle.
Bottom of the 9th inning here at Vince Genna Stadium. John Witt out to the hill. The senior from Arkansas Tech, a native of Phoenix, Arizona, converted his 6th save on Friday night against these Bend Elks. He will go for number 7 and put himself in a potential 2-save lead in the West Coast League with a couple of outs tonight. He needs 3, and he'll face the middle of the Bend order. Cam Beck, Will Cahill, and Brady Pettit. 4 hits between those 3 hitters of the Bend Elks 10 tonight. Luke McGuire exits, throwing 95 pitches in 8 innings. First offering from Witt is a breaking ball right at the top of the zone for strike 1. Witt on the season, a 5.27 ERA, but that's not indicative of what he has done this season. Most of those runs coming up in Edmonton in a non-save outing. 0-1, misses inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. John going to be about 85, 86 on the fastball. Cam Beck, 0 for 3 today, grounded into a double play in the 7th. 1-1. There's a strike on the outer black. It's 1-2 with a changeup. The crowd that stuck around in this 3-run contest, disagreeing with Clayton Kellogg. John stuck it right on the outer black. 1-2 on the way from Witt. A called strike 3 right over the heart of the plate. Beck looked silly, didn't even get the bat off his shoulders. 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th. That'll bring up Will Cahill. 2 for 3, 2 singles, a run scored back in the 7th. His out was a fly out to center field back in the 5th inning. 7:45 here in Bend, Oregon. Witt's first pitch to Cahill is fouled straight back, 0-1. Pips trying to throw out the 1-2 punch. Both of these pitchers for Yakima Valley have legitimate arguments to be all-stars up in Victoria a week from Wednesday. 0-1 from Witt. Wave and a miss. Got him to swing at a breaking ball. And the count runs to 0-2. Cahill a lefty. Then you flip back to a righty with Brady Pettit. 6-3 to score. Pippins lead by 3. The 0-2 bottom drops out of a curveball. That's strike 3. Back-to-back punch-outs for John Witt, and the Elks down to their final out of the evening. Brady Pettit, the last hope for Bend. 2 for 3 as well. A single in the second, then he was caught stealing. A single in the seventh, and a ground out to second base back in the fifth. First pitch from John, down and away with a breaking ball, 1-0. Isaiah Fudge has grabbed a bat in the on-deck circle as the Elks try to put a lefty up there against Witt. He might not get a chance to hit, though. 1-0. Chop foul over towards the Elks dugout on the first base side, 1-1. Pippins trying to even the season series at 3 games apiece and take the series here at Vince Genna Stadium. Pippins' last series win was against the Marion Berries down in Salem on Father's Day weekend. 1-1. Ground ball out toward short. Almeida ranging, throwing on the run. The throw is low. The scoop is unable to be made by Levi at first, and the game stays alive. Brady Pettit reaches on what will likely be an error on Yakima Valley. Had a chance to go 1-2-3 in the ninth, but instead it'll be a pinch hitter for Will Goodman, Isaiah Fudge. Home plate umpire Clayton Kellogg makes the note of the substitution. Isaiah Fudge from San Marcos, California, attends Tampa University. On the season, batting .206 for the Elks in 10 games. Fudge enters for Will Goodman, who will end his night 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Elks playing the matchup game here with a left-handed stick. John 1 out away from his West Coast League leading 7th save. First pitch, down and in, 1 ball and no strikes. It was an impressive start by Luke McGuire, going 8 innings, giving up 10 hits, 3 runs though. All 3 of them coming in the 7th and 8th innings. 3 strikeouts, no walks. 1-0 pitch, a line drive out towards the left center field gap. Tyson ranging back, still going. This is going to bounce up against the wall. The windmill is on over at third by Tony Kemp for the lead runner Pettit. He is going to score. That makes it a 2-run contest. RBI double off the bench for Isaiah Fudge. Tying run comes up to the plate. Another pinch hitter is going to make his way up to the batter's box. This is Marcus Galvin, another lefty. So Hayden Smith ends his night 0 for 3. He represents the tying run. How important was that run scored by Nick Velasquez in the 9th inning now? Had Jay O'Neill not been able to get the bunt down, the potential tying run would be at second base. Witt still with a tiny bit of breathing room. 11 hits now on the night for the Elks. First pitch on the ground out towards Velasquez. Takes it on 3 hops. The throw to first is in time. And the Yakima Valley Pippins take the series from the Bend Elks. Final score here at Vince Genna Stadium. Yakima Valley 6, Bend 4. John Witt converts his West Coast League leading 7th save of the season. And despite some adversity in the 4th inning with 3 players ejected, Yakima Valley survives and is 2-1 to start the second half of the season. The win goes to Luke McGuire. The loss tagged to Dylan O'Neill. The save goes to John Witt, his 7th of the season. The Elks score 1 there in the 9th inning, but it's a 4-3 groundout that ends this contest. The Pippins now 8-7 away from Yakima County Stadium. They will head into a off day tomorrow, well-deserved after 13 straight contests. We're going to go talk to Luke McGuire. This game ended at 7:47 p.m. We'll talk to you on Tuesday against the Ridgefield Raptors, 6:35 p.m. first pitch. You can catch us on YouTube or the WCL Live app. Until that time, I'm Harmon Johnsen. Signing off for now from Ben, saying stay safe, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon or evening, wherever you may be. And we'll talk to you on Tuesday back at home. Final score in this one, Yakima Valley 6, Bend 4. You've been listening to Pippins Baseball on the road